I slowly built myself up from when I first moved here. I got a job. When I came here, I first got a job as a cashier in Borders Books and Music, which is a really hard job to do, being a cashier. But I was there for about 3 months. And then after that, I applied for my Social Security card because back when I was born, they didn't issue a Social Security card, so I had to wait to get my Social Security card. And then I started interviewing in the city and everywhere else, and I had a very thick Indian accent that I had to work on. And funnily enough, I was hired as a receptionist with this accent. So, it was hard, and I did it. Then, once I started working, I moved on to thinking about college. I found out that in order to pay the lowest amount that you could pay for tuition, you had to be a resident. So that means I had to live in the US for a year before I was a US resident or a New York City resident. And then of all the schools, the community schools, the CUNY schools were the cheapest. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to some community college that's under CUNY, and we'll see what we could do. So that's what I did. I waited for a year, I worked for a year, then I applied to all kinds of community colleges, and I got into Baruch College, and which takes me into my college experience. Now, everything was fine, except I was totally clueless. I had no idea what the system was. I had no idea, what's a semester? Who knew? I didn't know that. In India, the way it worked is that you went to school for an entire year, and then you had one exam. And you either passed that exam or you failed that exam. And I failed. I mean, not literally failed, but I failed. Like, I would pass with 2 points. That's it. So out of 100 points, if you got a 35, you passed. And I would get a 37, a 38, 33, here we go, somebody who knows. Right, so you study the entire year and you either pass or fail. And guess what? Your makeup exam was either 4 months away or another year away. There were no makeup exams right there. So you lost a year. If you failed one exam, you lost a year. So that's the system that I came from. So when I moved here, we had paper. I could write a paper. I could pass a class writing a paper. I could pass a class doing well on 4 quizzes. 4 quizzes, that's it. The stress was gone all of a sudden. And it was really good for me because I blossomed in this system. I graduated from Baruch with a business degree, and I had a 3.49 GPA. Whereas in India, I was barely passing. Like, by the skin of my teeth, I was getting through to the next year. So even though I was clueless, I asked questions. I asked the professors, I'm doing really bad in my class. How do I pass this class? What can I do to make up? I had a bad semester. I need some help. I was sick this semester. How can I make it up? How can I get a good grade? And you know what? The professors over here were so much more helpful than the professors in India. In India, my professors wanted me to give them extra money to even talk to them outside of class. They wanted to tutor me, right? Over here, the professors are like, here's my phone number, here's my email, contact me if you have any questions. I never had that access before. So I was really thankful to have these professors to help me and to guide me through the school system and through my college career. So basically what I'm saying is that being clueless about the American system is no excuse. There is no excuse not to do well in college over here, given all the resources that you have. You have students' affairs over here to help you out. You have the professors willing to help you out. You have all these people over here wanting you to succeed. All you have to do is express an interest, right? I know the sciences, English, every single department that I've ever been associated with, they want you to succeed, and they're there to help you succeed. So the other thing that I really enjoyed about the US system is that I had a chance to explore. When I was in college at Baruch, I took a music class. I took a photography class. I took a drama class. All of these things that I could never even dream of taking before, I was able to take. And these weren't even elective. I took them outside of my electives. These were totally outside of I paid extra to take these classes. And it wasn't that expensive either, right? So what you have in America is this whole different fields that you can explore. You want to go into research? Talk to your professor. I want to go into research with you. They'll take you on, they'll mentor you, they'll help you go through the system, they'll help you understand what research is. You could be a research assistant. Nothing is stopping you over here. So you can explore different areas. If one area doesn't work out, you can switch over. I went back to school to York, to the York Community College, and I did classes in science. Unheard of. I'm in my 30s. In India, by the time you're in your 30s, you're an old woman, let me tell you. You have no future, you're married, you have a couple of kids, you can't even aspire to anything else. You're just stuck. By the time you're 22, if you don't know what you're doing in your life, you're a failure. Over here, at 35, I can actually think. I have friends who are 40, 42, going back to college doing their MD. So there's nothing over here that can stop you. All you have to do is find it in yourself and go and explore and find your own path, because there are many different paths that you can take. The other thing I want to mention here is that learning is a lifelong process. If every day you can say that you learned one thing that day, that is a successful day. So no matter how old you are, and this is for life, no matter how old you are, no matter where you are in your life, always make sure that you learn things, that you keep moving forward with your knowledge. One of my dear friends, Rachel, decided to take a year off and work in Spain. And we then met up after she'd been in Spain for a year, and she said, "Ange, I really have to hand it to you, because being an outsider going into another community where you don't know the language properly, you don't know the mores, which are the unwritten rules, you don't know any of that." She said, you really have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? So what does that mean? In plain and simple words, it means being the odd one out. And that could apply to anything, right? You could be in a group of people and you're the only one who's dressed in sweatpants, and everybody else is dressed nice. You're the odd one out. It makes you feel uncomfortable. All your friends buy Starbucks coffee, and you have your coffee from home because that's all you can afford. That makes you feel uncomfortable. You have an accent. That makes you feel uncomfortable. My husband is white, so whenever we go back to India, guess who feels uncomfortable? He does, because he's the only white guy surrounded by all us Indians. Right? So there's always a point in your life where you will be uncomfortable, and you should always try to overcome feeling uncomfortable. And I'll tell you why. Because if you just try and stay within your comfort zone, you're never going to want to experience new things. And the point of being in America, you have so much freedom to experience all kinds of new things. You can make friends from all over the world, which wouldn't have been possible where you came from. You can take college classes, all kinds of different college classes, which wouldn't have been possible. You can do all kinds of different things with your life that back home wouldn't have been possible. So try and overcome the feeling of being uncomfortable so that you explore new things. So the whole experience that you have in the US is what you make of it. You can decide to stay, in Jackson Heights with all the Indians and not go out and just be, with my own people and not think about the world at large. Or you could be that person who mingles with everyone, who goes and meets with everyone, who tries and, helps people. Like, okay, so now you've been in the US for 6 to 8 months, you kind of know the system a little bit, help another student, right? You could always help another student. You can always, mentor another student who's just coming here who doesn't know the system. So there are ways that you can help. Now I'm going to tell you about my father, who came to America, and he did his master's here. He met my mom here as well. But what he decided after staying in the US for about 5 or 6 years is that he wants to go back to India and give back to the community over there. So he did move back when I was a little baby, and he started an orphanage called Bapuji Children's Home. You can see it up there. And what you see over there is a little cradle built into the compound. And what happens is that women who are disenfranchised or who are in trouble, they give birth to the baby right outside our compound, put the baby in the cradle, ring the bell, and they run away. So this is something my dad was able to start in India because he went back, he used the information that he had, that he got from here, his master's degree, working over here in the American system. He went back to India, he started his companies, and then he started giving back to his community in different ways. So this was one way. He also started an old age home for the elderly who have been left out to their own devices and had nowhere to go and nowhere to stay. He also started a dialysis center for people who weren't wealthy enough to afford their own dialysis on a weekly basis. And this is free. This is something that he decided to do with his money. So what I'm saying is that education for one person can benefit a whole community. This was back in India. You could also do it in your own community over here in the US. You can decide what you want to do. You can contact Student Affairs. You can find out groups that do things that you're interested in. Are you interested in helping the homeless people? You could find a group that does that here in the CUNY system as well. So just because you are the one who's getting the education doesn't mean it's only for you. It's also for everyone else and for the upliftment of your family, of your school, and of your community. My father also started a vocational school, which was for village youth who was like me, failing every exam or just passing every exam by 2 points. We teach draftsmanship, electrician stuff, and all kinds of things. And that's something that you could do at Queensborough College. You can take a couple of classes in ACAD. That's a huge market out there. All kinds of design firms are looking for people who know how to use ACAD. So there's a lot of opportunity out there, and it's your job to be able to embrace the change that's facing you right now and go forth. In other words, you reach for the stars, you may land on the moon. That's it. Thank you. All right. This is the wrong presentation, but it's all right. Yeah, we're all set.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Do you guys have any questions?
Yes. Yes. Questions? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm very impressed with your experience, but my question is, during your in school, in college, how do you fit to your finance stations?
Oh, I worked during the day and I went to college at nights and weekends.
On the weekends? Is that enough?
Well, I was able to take four classes, so that means 12 credits, to 15 credits every semester. Yeah. But it was hard, but I did it. And I did go nights and weekends. That's what I did.
It's like 4 years.
Yeah, but you do what you got to do, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I know. I majored, when I graduated college, I majored in human resource management from Baruch, just because I had to major in something. My minor was in economics. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. I'm sorry? Oh, this one over here, wait, I'll show you. That one, that's Glow Tech. That's the name of the vocational school that my father started in India to help village youth who they don't have any English skills, they don't have any skills to get a job or anything. So we started this 2-year college where people from the village or young people from the village can come and study with us, and it's free. Right, currently we have 63 kids with us. Yeah, it's smaller. Yes. What's my job now? All right, I used to work as an HR director at AXA Financial, but I quit my job after I had my kids. Yeah. It's hard, but as I said, you gotta do what you gotta do. Dude. All right, any other questions?
What's the most important thing you think in your life right now? If you don't mind saying.
Like personally, or?
I mean, what's the main role you want to go
Well, I am moving back to India in May to take over my dad's business. So, thank you. So it's a huge undertaking because we manufacture components for medical equipment. So it's a huge company, a lot of work, and I'm moving back. It's a 5-year project. We're going to review it in 5 years. My poor husband has to move with us, so that's a big part of the equation. Well, are you talking about the products?
Yes, this foundation.
Oh, this foundation will stay there because we feel like there's a huge need for grassroots projects in India because there's so many people that need so much help. We also work a lot with disenfranchised women. So basically women who are in trouble and have nowhere to go. We provide shelter for them. That's a total other project. We do a lot of stuff back in India, yeah. Any other questions, comments? All right. That's great. Oh, yes.
Are you excited to go back?
I'm really excited to go back. Why am I excited to go back? Because I'll be closer to my family, and it's a huge opportunity for me to take over such a big company and try and see what I could do with it. Along with that, all the social work, if you haven't noticed, I'm very partial to upliftment of the community, no matter where we are. Even here in Rego Park, where I am, I'm part of the Rego Park Alliance, and I do a lot of work in my community as well. So for me, that, as well as the opportunity of taking over a huge company, is one of the biggest reasons why. No, I did not intend to do this with my life. I intended to be nice and happy here in the US of A. Yes?
As you mentioned that you were in high school or you were in college in India, you were so uncomfortable. And when you came here, you were more comfortable. Do you think as you're going to go back in India, you're going to be still comfortable? Or
All right. Okay. So my experience in India academically was bad. Socially, I had a good time, but academically, it was really horrible. So I don't think I'll be going back to college in India. My kids, however, are going to have a hard time, but there is a huge educational reform going on in India as well. A lot of colleges are switching over to the semester system. So I think all in all, it's heading towards the right place. Anything else? Yes. All right. Okay, remember I said when I came here, I got hired as a receptionist? It was at a temp placement agency. So I kind of fell into human resources anyway. So then I kind of built up in human resources, and then I just said, whatever, I'll just major in human resources as well. That after I graduated with a degree in human resources was when I got my director promotion at AXA Financial. So I just fell into it. No, I'm fine. I did want to go back to sciences because I love science. So I took about 4 classes in York just to do sciences. Yeah.
So I think this time you will devote most of your time now to this social media.
Yeah, this as well as developing our products and marketing them and stuff. That will be, yep. Yes. I'm sorry. I have one brother who's younger than me. He's in India. He studied in the UK and then he moved back to India. Yes.
So how did you improve your English?
How did I improve my English? Good question. So I watched a lot of TV, especially Transformers. I like cartoons. I watch a lot of Transformers. And then I'm a big sci-fi fan. So a lot of, Star Trek, BSG, all that stuff. The other thing, I could tell you a good way to improve your English, especially American English, is to talk like you're eating. So you have to over-enunciate your vowels and the sounds that you make and talk like you are eating food over and over and over. That's the way. You have to lose your inhibitions, open your mouth, and overpronounce your vowels a lot and talk like you're eating. That's the best way to improve your English. It's true. You're laughing, but it's true. It's absolutely true. It's the truth. You try it. No, talk like you're eating. Nobody wants to see you talk while you're eating. Talk as though you are eating. So that means you open your mouth and talk. Yes.
Can you enlighten me now? What makes you inspired?
What inspires me? Being able to help other people inspires me. That is my motivation, and I'm not ashamed to say that I am extremely noble and idealistic. It has gotten me into trouble. I bring home strays all the time. My husband's like, who did you bring home today? I pick people up off the street. I'm like, you want to come over? I'll give you some tea. I'll give you some food. They tell me I picked up a Japanese woman once. I pick up all kinds of people on the street saying, come on over. I'll give you a hot meal. That's what makes me happy and drives my husband crazy, but that's different. Yes.
So in your opinion, what importance social media?
In college, I would say make a lot of friends, because once you have a good support system, going to college becomes easier. Second is, don't be afraid to talk to your professors. Talk to them, ask them questions. If you're in trouble, communicate that to your professors because they're there to help you. I would say America is one of the only countries where professors or teachers go into the profession because they want to. Do you understand what I'm saying? In India, it's the last profession that anybody I didn't become a doctor, I didn't become an engineer, I guess I'll become a professor. Right? That's the attitude. Over here, it's different. People go into teaching because they really want to teach. So definitely communicate with your professors. The other thing is, that syllabus your professor hands you at the beginning of the semester?
Yeah.
All right. Go by that syllabus. Okay? Because your professor expects you to do that reading. Your professor expects you to do that homework. Your professor expects you to follow the directions that's on your syllabus. That should be your Bible for 4 months of that class that you take. It's very important. And everything is spelled out over there for you. They tell you what reading you have to do, what homework you have to do, what you're expected to know for each exam. It's not a mystery. Right? Hand in your assignments on time. Those are the important things in college. All right. So most of you are doing your ESL or GEDs, right? No?
No GEDs.
No GEDs. Yeah, ESL. Okay.
Academic English.
Academic English. So after this, you'll be applying to a whole bunch of different colleges, trying to figure out what you're going to do. My advice is to first get into any college. Okay, start racking in the credits. All right? After that, you'll get an idea of where you want to go, which field you want to go in, and then decide where you want to go. Because the good thing about here is that at your college, if I get a 3.0 GPA in like 4 science classes, I can transfer that to NYU or to any other colleges in the city. So just get into a college and start racking up your credits and then see where you want to go. You could stay in the same college if you want. You could move. The other thing is also, you don't have to go to a 4-year college. Do you know how much a plumber makes? $125 an hour. An hour. There's no other profession other than being like an MD where you'll be making that much money. A plumber. Yeah. A plumber, a welder. There's so many other non-conventional areas that you could go into. And a school like Queensborough could give you the start that you need and the boost that you need to go into that field. It's true. Any other questions? All right. C'est tout. Excellent. Thank you.